Welcome to Gray But Not Old, the Imprints of Wisdom. We are honored to have our guest with us today, Tina.
Good morning.
The first question that I'd like to ask you is, as you have matured in life, what two stages were the most challenging and why?
Great. Good morning. That is a very awesome question. And I have spoken on this several times. So the first age stage was my 17, 18. So 17 becoming 18. Why it was challenging is I wanted to do something extremely different from all of the women in my family and even the women that I grew up with in church and school. I wanted to join the military. It was completely different than anything anyone else had done or wanted to do that I was aware of in my small community. My attraction to the military was by reading books and magazines. It gave me the space to have dreams. And the dream was to see the world, to see if the places that were in these magazines or the descriptions in books as authors wrote, did it look like that? And so it developed a curiosity in me. And I knew, being the oldest of seven children, and sometimes just the financial struggle of living one in the South, and then being one of seven children and the oldest, that my family would not be able to finance me traveling. So the Navy was the way that I saw my ability to do it. And I didn't even understand the full impact of joining the Navy, but it was an option. So there were some folks at the church who, and I said folks, mostly women, who tried to discourage me from joining the military. In my sass, I said, well, if they leave laughing, I'm going to leave laughing as well. So that was a challenge because people, not me, tried to design my life. And it was so small in a box of what I should do, which was basically go to college, get married, have babies. That was the extent of what they saw. And so that was a challenge, just stepping outside of the box. The next age, I would say, would be um, when I turned 50. So when I turned 50, what I found was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, when I was celebrating life and um, doing lots of stuff, going to school, doing a lot of building of myself, whenever I had events, it would be, without exaggeration, at least 50, 60 people present at all time. As I got older, I started to see that a lot of those relationships that I thought were formulated into friendships turned out really to only be transactional. And it was, Tina gives great parties. She always has really good food. She gives really great gifts and prizes. Her parties are always fun. You leave and you feel whatever, however they filled in the blank, but they would always come. But ultimately, when it became time for challenges, when I lost my two brothers, when I was struggling to find employment after law school, a lot of just things happened. And so all of those folks who were always there when times were great, they disappeared when things got really tight. But I also learned that even when things were great, I lost some folks because, again, they've written a book about what my life looks like, but they're not God. And so their very short vision did not allow them to celebrate me. And so they eventually just disappeared over time. When I thought about it, there was no issue, no argument, no anything, but they just disappeared. So they couldn't celebrate what the Lord had done for me. They couldn't celebrate that my life did not stop at the point where they met me. So those were the two challenging ages that I have met thus far. And I'm still in my 50s, but entering 50 was just a huge, it just has such a huge impact on relationships and the numbers of the numbers of people in my phone, my contacts. I just went through and I cleaned them up because I literally went through the phone and saw there were people that I had not had any communication with in 6, 7 or so years. And also, when I looked through the history, the contact was me contacting them, not them contacting me. So, yes, that those are the pivotal moments and stages that major changes happen that I could like actually see in them having heart and head impact.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you.
Yeah.
When you hear the expression, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind for me is standing for something. I, again, can just simply use the examples that I just said as far as pivotal moments. Standing for what I believed in for myself, I would have, if I had not done so, I would have fallen for the very small box that people in the South had written for me, even family members who, based on their judgment of where they saw my motherland, they really limited what they thought my mother's kids could do or would be. And many of them can't even celebrate the fact that I have graduated law school, that I am actually a licensed attorney. They grapple with that because it goes beyond what their expectations were. So if you don't stand for something, that means making a definitive decision about something, whether it's your rights, civil rights, impact, whatever it is, it has to be important to you, not important to someone else. It has to be there for you. You will fall for anything, which means you'll be easily swayed, easily dissuaded to stand up for what you believe in. And so that is how I see and hear that, just based on my life experiences and just knowing that so many people have given up on their dreams because somebody told them they couldn't or they made them feel unworthy. And so that's what I think of when I hear that saying.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you. What would you recommend that young men and women stay away from?
If I could tell you one thing that I would strongly encourage you to stay away from, it would be stay away from people who don't have dreams, who don't envision themselves doing something great or being the best at what they want to do. People who don't have dreams don't have goals, they don't have vision. And what can happen is you connect with these people and you begin to give away your own dreams and your own goals. You begin to have self doubt. You begin not to work towards. And goals and dreams don't always signify, oh, I want to be a lawyer, doctor. You can want to be a waste management collector, but you want to be the best waste management collector. And maybe you want to garner some skills so you can open your own company. So don't give up your dreams. Don't attract to people who don't have dreams. Don't attract to people who want something overnight because nothing great comes overnight. You may get it, but the loss has an impact much more significant than what you gave up to get it quickly. So people who have goals and dreams, they realize that it takes steps to get there. A lot of our young people have looked at Facebook, Twitter, and all of these Snapchat, and oh, these people are making all of this money because, but you only see their fake best side. You don't hear about the hardships. Or if you're hearing about hardships, it's on a level of hopelessness. And so to have dreams means that you have hope. To have goals means that you have hope. And hope and faith intertwine into you being the best person that you can be, that you want to be. And you realize that every day is different and you'll become a better person in different areas and aspects of your life. Every day it changes. So my my advice is stay away from people who don't have goals and dreams. Stay away from people who want something overnight. Stay away from people who are willing to take and not give. So that would be my advice.
And thank you so much for sharing your imprints of wisdom with us today.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure to do so.
Thank you for joining us here on Gray But Not Old, the Imprints of Wisdom.